All right, so I just saw this and then it just hit me how ridiculous this is. So this is from Huffington Post. I Am Jazz transgender doll to debut at New York City Toy Fair. Reality TV star thanks doll company for being so progressive. And I thought about this for a second and what it meant and what the doll actually is. So I thought, well, what is this? A anatomically male doll that looks and dresses like a female, but inside feels like a girl. Because the only way that this doll would work is if it was anatomically and biologically a boy, but felt like a girl or identified as a girl. And that is attributing something to the doll, an inanimate object that can't exist. And it makes the whole thing bizarre. It makes sort of a barometer, a measuring stick, where we are as a species. See, what makes a doll come to life is a child's imagination. You could basically animate a stick and pretend it's a human being. A child can, with their imagination, pretend anything's alive. They can play with anything. Kids used to not have toys. They'd pick up sticks, they'd pick up stones, whatever. So, whatever there is in terms of a doll, it's the child that gives the doll a personality. If you give a kid a plastic tiger, the tiger will come to life in the child's imagination and play. That's one of the great things about play, is that a child's developing their internal worlds. That's why all these video games and things like this that dictate their universe is bad for them. When they're able to use their imaginations to the full extent and create their own worlds through play, they develop rich internal universes. And so what this doll is doing, aside from all of the political and other agendas here, it is giving them what the child identifies as. Because instead of being a blank slate, a doll is a blank slate, and none of these things, Barbies or whatever, it's not like they're great toys. Barbies, because of the way they look, and these, ultra skinny dolls or whatever. But anything that is a blank slate, the child is there to provide the personalities. And so the child is developing their personality through the play with the toys. Of course, with those Bratz dolls, which were god awful. So you take a look at this transgender doll, it comes with a big condition where the children who would be playing with this doll, there'll be like all these liberal parents forcing their kids, these things on their kids and say, experience what it's like to identify as an opposite sex and incorporate that into your play, and therefore incorporate it into your internal universe. And that's just bizarre. So it's something for everyone to think about what this means in terms of how it will affect children's internal universes. Like, they will internalize this. So it's putting something that I consider a psychological issue. Many people consider it a psychological issue and really a spiritual issue, that children who don't have this shouldn't be burdened with it. It's a hard thing for people. Like I said, I have compassion for people who have this issue. It's a horrible thing to have to be burdened with, saddled with during your lifetime, but that's who they are. But children who don't have this issue, it's just a complexity that they don't need to struggle with and act out and play with and make it something that they would have, because that's something that enters in artificially, where they're not, this isn't a life issue they have, but through societal pressures, you'll have all these kids going, I wonder, I'm questioning my own gender. And that seems to be, that definitely is what they're saying here with this idea of being gender fluid. They're saying that kids and everybody their gender should be fluid. So internally, you should be questioning your gender and identifying as a woman one day, a man one day, whatever. That's what they're saying with this definition. And they're clearly pushing this with this doll and these other things. And so this is something that is of concern. It's a barometer because it's just so bizarre. This is where how did we get here moment? And this is the need, like I said, that we need to simplify, talk about this in other videos, have an internal connection with God, have the ability through a heart-based system to cleanse and clean out unnecessary complexities, because this is just psychological mayhem that's not just about transgender. It's just over self-evaluation. It's things that people have when they have full bellies and they have a system that takes care of them, and they have too much time on their hands and are in a constant state of self-analysis. And this is what they're pushing for here. So again, this is not something that's a sign of collective social health, and we just keep on going deeper into this complex world and getting away from what makes us simple and natural and healthy human beings, connected to nature, connected to God's love, connected to our soul's path. So this is Paul Romano reporting from the apocalypse. Everybody have a blessed day.